Yeah, it is Marvel Contest of Champions news coming at you on the 31st of March 2018. Obviously, it's bank holiday weekend. It is kind of Easter, so obviously, if you're religiously inclined, then obviously happy Easter. And also, I think it's Passover, so people that are celebrating Passover, I'm not sure what the proper greeting is. Maybe I should learn that in order to kind of diversify for the many different religions and ethnicities and different peoples that watch my videos, including aliens. I don't know how to communicate with an alien. But anyway, it's Marvel Contest of Champions news time. So let's jump into the stories. So here we go with our first story. And as you know, tomorrow is April 1st. So people are kind of wondering about April Fools. And I know that some games do some stuff with this, so I'm quite interested to see if Kabam will actually do anything for Marvel Contest of Champions. I don't think they will. The problem is, like, everybody memes Marvel Contest of Champions and they meme Kabam all the time. There's a lot of different, I haven't seen it in any other game that I play where a game or kind of like a games company have been memed as much as they are memed. I mean, I do it, like Seaton does it, and a lot of the other Marvel Contest of Champions YouTubers do it, and the people that play it meme it as well. So there's a post about April Fools, and in particular things like, hey, well, everyone should get a blade for April 1st. Yeah, that's cruel. That's not an April Fool's. It's like, here's a blade, we're gonna take him away again. That's cruel. That's really cruel. And if you want to get in on the act with regards to like April Fools, then you can do, maybe go to the forum post and like put something that people are gonna get. Hey, someone's gonna get 50k units, but they're not. So, you know, have at it as you will. Next up is another reminder when it comes to Marvel Insider. Obviously, if you're not familiar with Marvel Insider, I've done a grind guide and another video and all kinds of things. It's a great thing that kind of goes separate to most things Marvel related, and I would strongly recommend obviously getting an account with it. But there are some things that are coming that are new. There's a really kind of like cool article on Sabretooth, which we'll go on to in a minute. But obviously, a reminder is put and grind out your points. So you've got to put in your name and obviously grind out the points for completing your beginner, your normal, and your heroic. So if you've done that, then that's great. And do be warned, obviously next month you will more than likely have to grind out the beginner 100% as well as the normal 100% and all of the kind of quests 100% if you can, but obviously as many as possible. So even though you've got to grind out to get those Chaos Rift shards, it'd probably be best just to kind of go, hey, well, I'm just doing this for my Marvel Insider account. So it's a win-win situation. And like we said earlier, there is a full write-up on the Sabretooth edition by Gabriel Frazera. So go and give it a kind of a watch through or kind of like read through, because it is a really interesting article that goes like secondary to something with Marvel Contest of Champions. Link is in the description. Next up is something of a post which was called like Losing Control of Champions, and this video here is actually taken from which was put into there and displays like an issue with regards to like someone playing on their device and finding that there's, you know, it's just not being responsive at all. To put it bluntly, how this actually works is that the person is kind of pressing down with regards to doing strikes at the point of like parrying one of the symbiotes, and is then finding that his Thor is not moving even though he's tapping on the screen to the right hand side. I've experienced this myself, and I think of a lot of players as well have experienced this. Now, I'm not going to shout conspiracy or stuff, because I think you can actually tick certain boxes with regards to like where this video file can be distributed to once you have it on YouTube. And as you can see, it's not being able to be played on the forum, which is disappointing because people aren't able to see this level of issue. And obviously you can go to the link in the description to see it for yourself the moment that he's still tapping on the screen. This obviously brings up a lot more questions than really has answers for with regards to like, well, is it first off like Kabam has a huge issue with regards to like the way that certain devices work with it? And obviously the other thing is that, well, Kabam will probably go like, hey, the device, you know, what device are you using? And then other people will say about, well, have you cleaned the screen? Have you cleared the cache? Have you done this? Have you done that? At this point, like, there wasn't a response on this particular article, so I was like, I'll just leave this live for a little while until today. And it appears it was responded to by Kabam Mike. And obviously, again, it just brings up more kind of questions like, yes, he put it towards the game team, but the questions are like, what device is this? At the same time, like, is the device running other things in the background, like other apps? Have you cleared them? Have you not? What is like? Is the internet good where that person is currently at that time? But either way, it is disappointing to see that. We're kind of like intense grinders because we have to be intense grinders of the game. So by having the game on for a long time, does that affect it? I think Kabam need to like work a lot harder with regards to like letting us have that known transparency, or maybe having a checklist saying like, hey, before you come to us, make sure that you kind of like do this. I mean, for myself, like having a game that after a while doesn't really respond isn't really great. I've played other mobile games and kind of like I've never had to like found this level of kind of need to do things like turn off the phone, turn it back on again, clear the cache, increase sensitivity on the phone. I've increased the sensitivity on my phone, on my iPhone, and I'm finding now I'm going to have to switch it back to being from a soft to a firm in order to kind of make sure that the game runs smoothly. And I don't know if anybody else's experiences, leave the thought in the comment section below. But it has like reached some funny responses, like Born to Hula. Like I commend you on this one because this was funny as hell. Because like saying things like it was at room temperature that I was playing the game. I kind of had a double espresso. Listened to XX. Yeah, like really funny. You should go and have a look at this kind of long list of stuff that literally says word for word what he was doing. If he'd said like he was like on the toilet going to the, like having a number 2, then it just like would be like the tip of the iceberg. The most freshest response is 5 PM today, whether or not that's GMT time when I'm seeing it, which is about 20 minutes after I'm kind of recording this video. But there's no response from Kabam on the subject. I don't know if this is going to be overly answered, but I do think, again, that level of transparency really needs to be there. The most effective way of running the game. At the same time, like, what do they recommend? But I just don't know if this is something with regards to the game build. And maybe it's something with regards to the longevity of the game that they could really consider maybe looking into a better kind of build engine. I've talked about this a lot in Marvel Contest of Champions news, but again, and I keep saying this, I don't want to sound like a broken record by constantly repeating myself on things. And again, like, people have fantastic ideas on the forum, but it's a decision that Kabam will have to make with regards to like what they're running. Something running their end and more efficiently may not be running efficiently for other people in different countries. But again, that's something they should look into. It's not about us kind of like constantly nagging someone. So we go from one set of opinions, well, sorry for that, to another set of opinions, and all about gold. Now, yes, so obviously yesterday, if you're unfamiliar, I released a video all about gold and kind of talked about the kind of the pitfalls with it, kind of talking about the intense arena grinders, also talking about the people that maybe don't have as much time, but still a massive requirement is to have gold within the game, but yeah, can't have as much time to kind of grind it out as most other people, like grinding out arena, which some do, some don't. Anyway, the main thing about that is saying, hey, there's a link to a gold forum post. But really strangely, in the last 24 hours, a lot of the gold-based posts have been started to get closed, which is frustrating because we don't think we had this level of kind of strictness when it came to tier 1 alphas. When the community went, we need tier 1 alphas and we need them as soon as possible, we found that that was, hey, that was fine because the forum posts weren't being taken down. Yeah, a lot of them shouldn't be in general discussion, but I do think that there should be a general discussion within the community because it's something that we all agree on that needs to be sorted out. Yes, suggestions and requests, but even the ones in suggestions and requests are actually being taken down, which, yeah, I don't know if I overly agree. It's censorship on a gold-based scale. And if you're not familiar with my gold-based video, it's me dancing around like an idiot to make some people laugh, but also talk about a serious subject. So if you do want to watch the video, link is in the description below before it gets censored, because that's probably going to happen. And our final story is something that I didn't pick up on until today, and that was this post here all about Alliance Season 1 rewards. And in particular, the alteration. Very strange occurrences. Like, I obviously don't check the Alliance Season 1 like rewards very often. I don't think anybody really does since we had the announcement they were going live. In the first picture that we see here, we see a good amount of rewards for the brackets applicable. In the second image, this has changed significantly. Like, it's a lot lower. And when I first saw it, I was like, holy hell, has this that changed dramatically? I think it would then really kind of change what people's kind of ideas of what they're going to be grinding out with regards to Alliance Wars kind of seasons is going to be like, hey, well, we'll give it a miss. But seeing this, something had to be kind of like said or done, but it's all okay. It's going to be fine. Kabam Lyra confirmed that this is indeed a bug, and I think by now it would be sorted. If not, at the end of the Alliance Wars seasons, we should see exactly what we were tipped to get at the start when it was announced. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We don't need to panic. It's all good. So that has been Marvel Contest of Champions news for Saturday, the last day of March. Hopefully you can have a great Easter weekend, whatever you're doing, with the old chocolate eggs and whatnot. A little bit of an apology because I didn't live stream last night. I said I would. Unfortunately, something cropped up with regards to something that me and Em have got to do for the house. Yeah, house ownership's great, but when serious stuff happens and then it's like, hey, we're going to go and sort this out, it's like, oh, okay. So that was a good chunk of kind of Friday night and a good chunk of Saturday. But it was McDonald's at lunchtime, so that was all right. That was our treat for sorting out some pretty annoying things. But it's all good, and we're going to rock and roll into the new month, because April's going to be a pretty big month. I've got, hopefully, another skit coming out, if we can get confirmed with like a bit of weather. We need a good bit of weather in order to kind of like film something outdoors, which would be called something like RichTheMan and the Quest for the Talisman of Luck, and be referenced about the game. I may do another skit in that as well. I need to think of something funny. The second thing is Contest of Memes will probably be out towards the end of the month, close to the release of Infinity Wars, and yeah, lots of exciting things to come. And lots of other videos in that. Anyway, thanks very much for watching this Marvel Contest of Champions news. And as always, I shall catch you on the flip side. Bye-bye for now. And don't forget to like. That'll be nice. Bye.